Joining us right now, Greg Hughes and Bret Hart. Gentlemen, good afternoon to you. Is it still?
Good afternoon.
You guys are here for a very special reason, and we're going to let you take it from here.
Oh, fantastic. Hi, I'm Bret Hart.
And I'm Greg Hughes.
You guys are here with somebody who's upstairs right now. Go ahead and tell everybody about it.
I'm the director of Ain't It Cool with Harry Knowles. Greg is one of our awesome producers. We have about a half dozen awesome producers on the show. I'm used to, by the way, being able to say cut, so this is really weird for me. Really weird.
Yeah, we don't edit. We very rarely edit, if ever.
I dread that. But anyway, so yeah, we have a show called Ain't It Cool with Harry Knowles, and we're very honored to be here. Greg and I started our career in Dallas, and it's kind of like a 360 full circle.
It's very much a homecoming.
Homecoming. In 2011, I left L.A. I came back to where I love, which is Texas. And I got a call, said, do you want to go meet up with a guy named Harry Knowles? I said, absolutely. Greg and I produced a movie called Bone Dry years before, and Harry wanted to interview me.
Okay.
Like, finally, I've always been interested in him. I always thought he was a fascinating guy. And when I went down, I did not realize how much he and it's the first time I heard the word geek.
In a positive context?
Exactly.
I was
Yeah.
going to say,
the first time
I've
I was
been hearing that since I was 6.
should I be offended?
Not at all.
But that's when I discovered the whole film geek thing. And he and I were on the same page. He said that the reason why I got the job was directing the show is I brought up Marcel Delgado. Greg, do you know who that is?
I do not.
I'm a film geek. There you go.
That's right.
Which he actually created the armature that was in King Kong.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Very nice.
Yes, and the weird thing is when he was describing the show, the guys at Nerdist had no idea. You talk about a webisode show. I was up in Oklahoma. I wanted to be near my daughter, and I was getting ready to pitch YouTube when they contacted me. But anyway, so yeah, I went down there and we started talking about this show, and I was like, man, this kind of sounds like a kind of like Gremlins, Joe Dante, kind of like Amazing Stories kind of thing. And we were on the same page. Walked out of the meeting. I said, you guys at Nerdist have no idea what we're getting ready to do. Because it's not green screen, it's not some B-roll. It's going to be
all
immersive.
practical.
It's very immersive. We built the set. There's a whole lore to Ain't It Cool about a basement, which we all know in Texas do not exist.
No.
But anyway, so yeah, we met in Austin, which is the place I always wanted to retire. And by the time we were done, we were like, we're going to make this show. Nobody at Nerdist had any idea what we're going to do. And the evolution from being a webisode, 30 episodes on YouTube, to now being on PBS in 73 stations.
Wow.
It's surreal. It's surreal. We had more money when we were doing it on YouTube, and that brings Greg. Greg basically saved can I say cuss words?
We can let you go to
my rear.
fast.
My rear.
Gotcha.
My ass.
We're trying to keep the F-bombs out of it if we can.
Well, then Harry will have to be Anyway, so yeah, he saved my ass.
We don't have a dump button. We better build one.
But yeah, Greg, take it from here. So I brought you into the project too.
Yeah, so I helped during the first season when it was a webisode with some extra gear and stuff. My production company donated to the show and helped everybody get the show done the first season. And then when we actually did this season, that's the first broadcast season, I really helped get the show ready for broadcast.
Save my ass again.
We may be missing the framework that this is in. For people that do know him, they know what he does, they know about the website. The TV show's a little bit different. So let's kind of give our listeners a background of what Ain't It Cool with Harry Knowles actually is.
It's Pee-wee's Playhouse for film geeks.
It's very much like you just said, Pee-wee's Playhouse meets inside the actor studio. So it's academic because it's Harry.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And Harry and I both are always on the same page. So like we reference a film, but what we try to do is take whatever the theme is, we try to immerse the audience in it. So if we have Wes Craven, which we were very fortunate to work with.
You got one of his last interviews?
One of his last.
Very nice.
And the weird thing is the week before I was posting that, he was my favorite interview. Because I had such a connection to him.
He seems like one of those guys.
The man was amazingly intelligent. He was like a scholar. It's like, not since Richard Franklin, who was my mentor, who directed Psycho 2, when I was 15, took me under his wing, had I sat with somebody and I'm like, oh my God, this guy is such a genius, such a brilliant man.
Forgotten more than we'll ever know collectively, probably.
Yes, brother, you ain't lying.
Our exclusive sponsor is IMAX, which you go from a YouTube show, this has been a Cinderella story, to IMAX, helping us get it out there to 73 so far, Marty, so far. Right?
Oh, my gosh.
It's unbelievable.
Speaking of a man whose ears must be burning, Joining us right now is the namesake of said show, Harry Knowles. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
I like to say that I was able to see what he's here for, and it was incredible. I love how you add your dad and everything, Well, but I got to say this one thing, and I'll get running. He got one of the final interviews with Wes Craven.
We were just talking about that just now, actually.
Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
On the hand away.
Thanks, Don.
Thanks a lot on that.
We just had to tape some promos for IMAX, and it's the first time that I've ever talked to a dead man as though he were alive.
Uh-huh.
And it was such a bizarre process because, I have an earbud in one ear hearing the voice of Wes Craven.
Oh, dear.
And I'm supposed to interact non-emotional. I'm joyful.
Oh, wow.
You're alive. You're in my
gosh.
magic globe. And I'm talking to Wes Craven, who's dead in the Madame Leota globe.
I was thinking about that when I was editing that. I was looking at it a couple days ago. I was like, of all people, Wes Craven would actually appreciate and respect and enjoy it. He had seen the show right before that, and he raved about it.
So you
We're
said
paying homage to a man
the
that
first
we really respect.
season was online, and the
First
second
season was YouTube, and then Harry and I and our Kickstarter supporters, we raised the funds to start another season. When we first started, we thought it was going to be on YouTube, and then it went to PBS. PBS approached us, and when they did that,
yeah, about
it became a
halfway
whole
through
ball
the
game.
about halfway through the
Completely.
Kickstarter, we had that 30 days that you have to do a Kickstarter.
Right.
About day 16, we got approached by a friend of mine who is like the showrunner for Austin City Limits on PBS.
could do a lot worse.
Well, I party
but the fact
with
that
this.
he likes his show is pretty cool.
Look, I've seen this man so drunk he soiled himself, right? And
He can say soiled himself.
and that was 30 minutes after I had soiled myself. So, I like to say we're soul brothers, but it doesn't mean what everybody else thinks that means, right?
So tomorrow night here at the Angelica, how many episodes are we going to be able to see?
2.
Okay. Are they the first 2 of this season?
No.
Okay.
One's Bo Willimon. I don't know what the other one is.
The other one is Mr. Craven.
Oh, really?
Oh, God.
To him.
So Harry and I, the first season was a complete joy. The second season, when we went into it thinking it was going to be an internet thing, thought it was going to be like 6 months commitment, and we loved working together. We loved our team. It was going to be so simple, and then when you elevate to broadcast, it becomes a completely different thing.
And you've
if you
never
don't have as
done
much
an
money-
actual half-hour television show before.
No, I've done features, I've done
yeah.
commercials, and it wasn't so much that we had enough content, but we had PBS giving us their guidance.
Okay, so we're getting 2 episodes tomorrow night. Are they currently airing on PBS?
They are currently airing in 73.
Okay.
Wow, to 73 now?
73. I know. I had
How many
to-
states now?
And over, I think it's 50. I think it's 50. It's we
Congrats,
can
man.
actually.
I-
We are
I believe
literally
that's what
in New York to L.A.
I read somewhere.
from Hawaii to Alaska. We started out in Austin. Our show is not shot in IMAX.
My
Our
favorite
show is a
thing
very
is
shoestring
there
thing.
my favorite thing is you would not believe the Ned Beatty squeal he made when I said that we were going to PBS because he was like, we didn't raise enough money for that,
yeah.
right? Like Brett here, unfortunately has to deal with the reality of the fantasy that is Harry Knowles. Okay,
The fine line has to be walked.
No.
But I'm in
I mean,
that same world,
because
so it's a fantasy to me too.
when you're raising $100,000 to do 6 YouTube episodes, that's amazing,
Right?
revenue. When you're doing 6 PBS episodes, and by the way, we delivered 7.
Very nice.
we,
And
we
one of them
promised
we
6,
air
we
tomorrow.
delivered 7, and
Or scream.
and they're all at a visual and production quality that exceeds a lot of fellow PBS broadcasting. Like people, when Brett and I first got together, and I told him I wanted it to look like the basement in Gremlins. I wanted that volumetric lighting that felt like Amblin.
Right. Okay.
Like
All right.
needed
Absolutely.
because I felt that somewhere deep inside of every film geek, no matter what your age is a basic love for the way Amblin films in the 80s looked. There was
Oh, yes.
they felt like a visual cuddle.
Yes, they did.
Like it was just like this. Like, tell me more. And when you watch the show Amazing Stories, right?
Yep.
It had that entire lighting package for the entire 2 seasons of that show.
Everything felt like you were in Elliot's closet.
Which is a real budget.
Absolutely.
Their budget, by the way, was 10 times what the Twilight Zone had in the 80s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
One of our best homages to that show was the title sequence, and applause to Brian Beam for creating an amazing title sequence that looks just like Amazing Stories. But
my favorite thing about the title sequence is that my dad is threading up a projector, which basically is my life. So you always saw the beam of light coming out of the projector. You saw it hit the screen. And when I told this...
You can smell it right now, can't you?
Probably the number one... Yeah, no, the sweet smell of ganja. And
what we just created... I started thinking about this because I'm trying to develop another film. There's so many genres that have been done and done and done again. Nothing has been done like our show, except for... What other shows would you compare it to?
Nothing. I mean,
exactly
like
right.
honestly, because
we immersed the viewer into the genre.
So excited to see this.
There was a Nerdist season, there was a webisode season. This is a progression, and now we're on broadcast. It's evolved.
It's
right?
the first television season.
It's first.
Fair enough.
We had to step back from the entertainment value of it.
Okay.
Well, we didn't have the money to do the
self.
entertainment value
What's the
that
word
we
for
did
it?
the first season. If you think about it, the first season, most of those that first all those episodes that are on YouTube, on a per minute basis, they had a higher budget.
Yeah, they had 3 times budget. So there was
Yeah.
less self-indulgence, and what we had to focus on is our message.
Every bit of those minutes has visual effects in it because
And
we
on
have
top
a
of that-
magic globe that Burt Reynolds' head is floating around in. Love that
Harry
cheerleader.
is probably the best at interviewing in the sense he gets people off their
game.
Yeah, off their topic. And
that level of comfort.
And we find out things that no one's ever shared before.
Well, I mean,
I'm excited to see this.
I am too.
What I tried to do with the show is talk as passionately. It's like the films and the excitement of it just go and flow straight through you. That's not how film critics talk.
Right.
Film critics dress with a suit. They dress in a tie.
And see, that's
They-
what we avoid.
What I try to do is I wear my crazy shirts. I wear my crazy shoes. I'm on my set that looks like a horror show basement.
We keep it
except that
weird, like in Austin.
We're starting to get the high sign, so I don't want to take up too much more of your time. But tomorrow night, 7 o'clock?
8
o'clock.
Yeah.
Here at the
Come on
Angelica. And I'm assuming there's going to be a Q&A afterwards.
I assume I will be ludicrously making fun of my director the whole time.
and vice versa.
It's a love thing, not a love-hate thing.
We're going to try to be there if we can.
Awesome.
And we're going to be back here Sunday if you guys are around. We're going to be doing another show on Sunday, so if you guys are around, we'd love to have you.
might be a
Bret Hart
hangover
was
that
here.
day.
Great
That's
Hughes
fine.
was here. And the great Harry Knowles. Ain't It Cool with Harry Knowles tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Angelica, be there. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you
It's
so
such
much.
an honor.